Hi everyone, it's Corinne here from Ethical Sales, and today I would like to share with you my secret sales formula for sales success. And I wanted to explain to you why I think so many business owners find sales such a challenge, because I think that it lies in this formula that I have I've been looking into. So, in my humble opinion, all sales, and by that I mean whether you're doing online selling, whether you're approaching businesses, whether you're looking for a retail strategy, all sales follows the same rule, and that is an 80-20 rule. So, by that I mean that sales is 80% persistence and it's 20% planning. Now, I'm going to talk you through an example that I came across on LinkedIn this week, which I think really sums this up really well. And so I'm just going to get straight in there. It was a peanut butter brand, and they're a very, very new peanut butter brand, and they were celebrating the fact that they'd got into Whole Foods market for the very first time. And there was a picture on there of the young lad who owned the business next to a huge kind of point of sale with all his products on, looking absolutely delighted. So, but what really got me was the story behind how they got into Whole Foods. So, the sales manager decided that his kind of goal, if you like, was to get this brand into Whole Foods, and that's what they were aiming for. And he took us through the steps that he took to get them into Whole Foods. And I'm not going to be able to tell you all of them because there's just so much that he did, but I'm going to give you a few highlights. So this is what he did. He sent 100 emails. He went to head office and gave everybody a home handmade breakfast. He went to head office and made his own Reese's peanut butter cups with his peanut butter formula inside. He went to the flagship store in Kensington and he sat there for 8 hours with some donuts to get 8 minutes in front of a buyer. Now I could go on, but I think I've made the point that this guy was utterly persistent in trying to get to his sales goal. And it did pay off in the end. They've now got into Whole Foods, and I'm sure that's the start of a great long-term relationship with them. So I think this is a really good example to think about, because actually I know a lot of you think about sales and you think about the 20%, which is the planning. Now, I know that 20% is really important, because without that 20% of planning, you don't know who you're targeting, why you're targeting, and how you're going to do it. That's the plan, okay? So you've got a strategic and targeted plan about what you're actually doing. But actually it is only 20%, because the 80% is what I think many business owners struggle with, and that's the persistence. And the persistence is particularly difficult because it requires a certain kind of mindset, and it also requires a lot of time. And I'll give you some examples. I've chatted to clients, and we've talked about kind of how they're getting on, for example, with retailer sales, and they always say the same thing, which is, well, I tried that and it didn't work. And I'll say, okay, so how did you try it then? What did you do? And they will talk me through how they created the plan, and then they sent them an email, and then they sent them another email, and then they gave up. And I'd say, well, you've only sent them 2 emails. Oh, well, I ran out of time, they say. I ran out of time. I got pulled into product development. I decided that the retail strategy was just taking too long, and I can't do that. Another example, would be a business who trying to set up online, and who decide that they've got a specific set of products that they really want to get out in front of a certain customer. They write a couple of blogs, they send out a few emails, and they sit there and they wait for the sales to come in, and they don't come in, and they get disheartened and they stop. And my question to them would be, well, how often did you show up? How often did you write those blogs? What's your customer engagement plan look like? Because that's the persistent bit. And that's the bit that's the hardest bit, because you do have to show up every single week. You do have to have your plan, and then you have to carry out that plan for, I'd say, for online sales, at least 6 months. If you're trying to get into retailers, at least 2 months of showing up every week, and making those phone calls and sending out those emails and being persistent. So I hope that helps a little bit, because what I want to try and do is demystify for you this sales process a little bit. It is not rocket science. You need a good plan, and then you need some persistence to carry out the plan. And if you do that week by week, you will start to see the results coming in. And hats off to that guy, that peanut butter guy. That does take guts to go and spend that long on trying to open one account. But I find it quite an inspiring story. And for us salespeople, that is really what keeps us going is that showing up every week and waiting for that big win to come in. For example, this week we're in week 5 of a retail campaign, and we've just opened our first new account for our client. It's a decent size. We're really excited, but we have been showing up every single week for 5 weeks to get there. So anyway, I hope that helps a bit. The secret formula is not so secret anymore. It's an 80-20 rule. You need 80% persistence and you need 20% planning. Drop me a line if you've got any comments or questions about this, and if I can help at all, I will. As always, do sign up to my newsletter, which is www.ethical-sales.co.uk, and I'll be sending out some more sales insights really soon. And see you again next week. Thanks everyone. Bye. Have a good weekend.